Hi there, it's Richie Faulkner from Judas Priest again here at Guitar World. We are talking about how to construct solos in, in the studio or for a record or, in a band situation. And again, we always end up talking about Hendrix and Schenker and all our heroes and Blackmore. And they're really great references because the way I have no idea what thought process they were going through when they were creating the solos, but what we can, take from that is there to take from. And they always had something to, again, it's like speaking. It's, you open a sentence with, this is what I've got to say. I'm going to embellish a little bit more of the point. I'm then going to, on the third part of it, I'm going to say, I'm going to dazzle you with some stuff. And then I'm going to kind of end up by referencing the first thing I was saying and leave you wanting more. That's kind of what I always got from those guys in terms of the way the solos were created. They were almost their own songs within songs. They were their own statements. They were, hey, this is what I've got to say. What do you think about this? I'm going to dazzle you and then leave you on a cliff, and then you go somewhere else. They took you somewhere else. They made you think about things, and they were saying something. And again, it's all, it's horses for courses. Everyone likes their own styles, their own players. The more notes there are, to me, they didn't have as much chance to say as many things because they raced off, credit to them, like Malmsteen and, Via, Satriani, amazing players. To me, the statements were made, for me, growing up, there was something to be said for a Hendrix solo, the way it started, the way it finished. Blackmore could, I'm on the middle pickup here with the gain turned down a bit on a guitar, and Blackmore could sort of there's no notes there whatsoever, but it says so much to me. Again, there's so much in there. If you analyze it, there's a vibrato in there. There's the speed that the note goes up to. It's all blues based. It's all where Hendrix came from. Schenker might be the same. It's the same stuff with a different voice. It's a different guy saying the same thing, almost. You know what I'm saying? It's the same note, different ways of playing it, but it comes from the same roots. Again, to grab someone's attention when the solo started, it might be a guitar noise or something like that, or which is a listen to me, this is what I've got to say type thing. So if we were to construct a solo right now, like it could be totally rough, it's not going to make any sense, but this is what I'm trying to put over. So you could say, that's like, hey, listen to me, this is what I've got to say, and it's almost, you can almost say that. Which is almost the same thing to say in another register. So you're reiterating the same point, and then so what we've got. So what that kind of was, I mean, you could hear it. There was a statement to be made there in the first phrase. The second phrase almost made the same point but went somewhere else with it. And by the way, that all came from showing you Blackmore licks and Hendrix licks and Schenker licks, which inspired an opening for a solo. You've got half of a lead break there. Some people go in and they script a solo and it comes out fantastically. What works for me is listen to what you're playing, use your ears. You can feel what's right and what's wrong, what sounds wrong. I mean, if it sounds wrong. You get to a point instinctively, hopefully, where you can press record on the desk and what comes out is a start, a middle, and an end and you can take from that. And that's you. That's what's coming out with no thought. I don't know what scale I'm going to do. I don't know where I'm going to go on the neck. Press record, go. 1, 2, burn. You know, it's like go. And whatever comes out, that's you. And there's elements of that you might not like. But this is another interesting thing. Glenn Tipton gave me a great lesson. He said when he was young and he was trying to learn how to play guitar, he used to listen to Rory Gallagher. And he used to play the same stuff as Rory Gallagher, but it never sounded like Rory Gallagher. And what he realized was it sounded like Glenn Tipton. And he realized earlier on, and it's a valuable thing, he couldn't sound like Rory Gallagher, but he could sound like himself. And he realized that that was a valuable thing to hone and to work upon. And that's the thing that we've all got that no one else has got. We've got your own individual uniqueness as a player, as a person, as a human being. And I think that's a really valuable lesson from Glenn. You know, we look at Glenn as one of these titans of heavy metal and guitar, blues guitar, rock guitar, heavy metal guitar. But he faces the same challenges as we do when we pick up the guitar and we're starting to learn. We don't sound like that. I want to sound like that. But you sound like you. And as soon as you find out what you is, you can become Glenn Tipton. That's the most amazing piece of advice. Realize what you've got that's unique and work on that, you know. I'm still doing it, and I think I forever will be. But if you can find that, Paul Kossoff, Dave Murray, whatever it is, whoever it is, you've got that unique thing, and that's you. So embellish on that, and, you know, be Glenn Tipton is what I'm saying. Be Glenn Tipton. If everyone was Glenn Tipton, the world would be a better place.